Hello all, welcome to this session on verification. As we have already covered what is software testing, now let's move and understand how software testing can be done. In another way, I can say that let's understand types of software testing. Now, our definition says that software testing is a process which helps to identify correctness, completeness, security, and the quality of the developed software and its software work products. So let's first understand what comes under software work products. So SRS or software or system requirement specification can be considered as a software work product. For that matter, any artifact which is related to the software testing process considered as a software work product. Now, if I go and consider the list, software requirement specification, code, any supporting document, any document which helps to understand the software or explains the how software can be worked or used can be a software work product. Now, once this is finalized, let's first understand what are the tasks that are involved in software testing in process. Now, finding issue as early as possible, reporting issues, checking correction done for issues, checking that no new issues have come after correction. So this is again summarized task. Let's understand finding issues as early as possible. Why this particular statement is here. It is believed that issues identified beforehand or earlier will actually stop the future issues. That's why finding issues as early as possible is important. But how early? For example, if I'm getting any SRS to review and while reviewing or while reading that particular SRS, if I understand that, oh, there is some point where I need more clarification or this particular point is not clear or this particular information is not given, then if I'm going back to my client and asking that, okay, please explain this particular thing, then there will not be major problems because of that. I'll tell you a simple thing. Why these particular issues comes? Basically, these particular issues arises because we all have certain fear, and fear is of asking questions. If we are suppressed with this particular fear of asking questions, and if we do not ask questions to SRAs or to our clients or to our superiors, our leaders, our peers, then we may tend to follow our own assumptions, and if this continues, then it will create a problem. It will introduce a defect which eventually creates bigger problems, bigger defects, or defects in multiple functionalities which may be dependent. So, it is always believed that you should start testing as early as possible. Now, the question remains same. How early? As soon as I get my SRS document or any document or any mockups or anything which will initiate the development process, I should or my team should start testing. Question is how? Okay, let's go back to one example. You must have seen some sort of agreements or some documents where some terms and conditions are written. Question is, can we test that particular document? Answer is yes. How? By systematically reading and understanding. Friends, the point is reading is a skill because we all knows how to read, but reading very carefully and understanding the meaning requires altogether different skills, and that needs to get developed. Once this particular skill is developed, then the life is easy. We can read, we can identify, and we can say that, oh, this particular problem is here. Listen to me carefully. This particular problem is here. That means after reading any content, you can figure what is the problem and where the problem is actually there. This is beneficial. Can we start this type of testing? Answer is yes. And this is where as early as possible comes in a picture. So we are going to test reading or understanding. This is what we call it as verification. That means there is no execution is involved. Then another task is reporting issues. Reporting issues again requires skills, and major skill required is communication. Like if I want to tell someone that, oh, there is a problem in your work, I need to have a fantastic communication skill to explain. Checking correction done for issues, obviously, because if I'm reporting some issues, someone is getting it fixed or getting it corrected, it's my responsibility or it's my duty to check whether the correction is done rightly or not. Checking that no new issues have come after correction. It happens, or it's a thumb rule, we can say that whenever there is a correction, the new issues get introduced. For all these points, we will learn or we will get to know more in the coming session. But let's continue. This is a high level. Now, before actually deep dive in the process, let's understand who all are the participants in software testing. So development team, obviously, because if I'm a developer, I'm writing my own code. I have to check at least once my own code. Testing team, obviously, technical architect who are involved in understanding and testing if the architectural plan is correctly done or not. Business analyst, definitely. So what is the role of a business analyst? Business analysts are the people who gathers the requirements, who filters the requirements, who go through the requirements first, and if there is any ambiguity, any uncertainty, or if any clarification is required, they go back to the customers or clients, get it rectified, and then the document gets passed to the development team. Customers and end users, definitely, because customers are paying us to develop a software. Obviously, they want to test. That indicates that every person associated with a project is capable and do software testing. Now, let's understand verification. Verification is a process that makes it sure that the software application is getting developed in the right way. Are we doing the right job? As I said earlier, it actually checks whether the path our team is following is correct or not correct. If not, then go back to the person who is authority or who is the owner, get this thing rectified or corrected, come back to the development team or a testing team or any project team member, and the work should continue. So, are we doing the job right? Secondly, done by systematically reading the contents. That's what I was saying. Work product of a software application with the intention of finding and correcting issues or discrepancies. Let's revisit these some of the words. Work product. As I said earlier, SRS or System Requirement Specification or Software Requirement Specification is considered as a software work product. Similarly, a working code base or a code is also a software work product. So, by reading these particular things, we can actually figure what are the issues or what are the discrepancies. Thus, filter is applied at various points during the SDLC to purify the application as it progresses through every phase. It helps in identifying not only presence of a discrepancies but also their location, and this is a very unique thing, and this is what is expected. For example, if I am going through the SRS, now in SRS point number 1, it is written something like the performance of the system should be good. Point number 1.1, the performance at the peak hour should be fantastic. Point number 1.2, the performance at the low load point can be average. But this is unclear. What is a parameter which defines the performance is excellent? What is a parameter or what is that number which explains that the performance can be average? Performance should be optimum. What is the definition of optimum? That means in every point like 1, 1.1, 1.2, I figure that there is a problem, the requirement is unclear. I can go back to my business analyst or directly to the client asking that please suggest or please advise on the parameters which you are expecting. Once that is done, then my development team will not have a problem when the application is developed and when they are going for performance tuning or something like that. Even at my end, my testing team or my tester will have absolute clarity that against what expected thing they are testing, and this is a benefit of verification. Also known as static testing, a software application is not actually used or executed. Exactly, I have written a code. I'm going through the code. Question is, can I read the code and find a discrepancy? Answer is yes. You can try it yourself. You can write a simple code, maybe in C or whichever your preferred language is, and just see if you can read the code and understand if there is a missing semicolon, or the if is not written correctly, or the loop is not closed correctly. You can actually find out the problems or the issues just by reading. Only thing is that you should know how to read it correctly, which is very important. Secondly, if I give you SRS or some document where some 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points are written, just by reading carefully, you can come back to me or to your client or to your superior asking for explanation on particular point. That means you found that there is a problem in that particular document. And that's what you have applied verification. Now, a process that makes sure that the software application is getting developed in a right way. Okay, so I'm revisiting this particular slide for you. So this is all about verification, which is very important, and this can be help, or this is help to purify that particular application. Now, when I say this particular verification, static testing, testing without execution, just by reading, there has to be some ways, there has to be some methods for verification, and those are on our way, which will continue in the coming session. So thank you for listening this particular session. See you in the next.